What's going on, guys? Joey Franzo with Flex Training Systems here. Today I wanted to address another question that I get all the time, and it's basically just, what are your thoughts on mobility? How much should I be doing? Do you do any mobility personally yourself? Okay, so my whole, kind of philosophy on mobility work is if you are a powerlifter and powerlifting is your main endeavor, as far as with your training, I would definitely try to get as mobile as possible to be able to perform each lift to competition standard. So what does that mean? It means in the squat you need to go low enough to hit depth and register a squat at proper meet legal depth. In the bench press you need to be able to maintain an arch and a strong back, retract your shoulder blades. I personally work on my hips because I like to open my hips when I bench. I feel it helps me stay stable, keep my butt down, and also like my shoulders. I've been very lucky to have good shoulders, so I don't really have to do too much for my shoulders. And then on deadlifts, you just need to be able to get into a good start position and make sure you can maintain, neutral spine all the way through. And neutral spine is going to have a different definition for different people. So, but that's a whole nother video. But yes, so mobility, you just need to be able to get in a position to perform the lift. If you're, constantly having, tight calves or tight, pecs or something like that, then you might want to do a little bit more beforehand. But that is usually going to be if you're in the tough part of training and you're dealing with a lot of volume, then you're probably going to build up some scar tissue, in which case, when I think mobility, I think kind of stretching, mashing and stuff like that. That's like prehab stuff. I wouldn't really consider, foam rolling or anything like that mobility, although it can help. If you're breaking up scar tissue, you're going to be able to have, a little bit more range of motion. So, if you are tight, then go ahead and roll it out, do some ART work, stuff like that. But mobile enough to get into position to perform the lift. I believe that anything after that can harm you. I have had experience with lifters that are extremely, extremely mobile, and it benefits them on the bench press and the sumo deadlift primarily. They tend to not have issues with squat depth, but they can have issues going a little too deep. And once you get it, into those higher, rep ranges or higher weights, actually, it's going to be very difficult to move, 600 pounds at 83 kilos, with a crazy, mobile body. So in that sense, being a little tight, can be beneficial. I know there are a lot of powerlifters that are super tight that, it helps their deadlift a lot because their back just can't round. Their back just stays, flat. So, they're going to feel it mostly in their glutes. But it depends. Everybody's different. But that's really my take on mobility. Me personally, I don't really do much for anything. Maybe for squat, I'll stretch my lats and my lower back and the front end of my quad, where my quad attaches to my kneecap. I'll just sit on the ground, put my leg behind me, do it on both sides, and then I'll grab a pole and lean back and kind of stretch out my back, and that's pretty much it. And I'll take the bar, 2 sets with 135, and I'm good to go on squats. And that's been working for me. I'm, the least injured I've ever been doing that. On the bench, I could get away. I could literally just lay down and bench 225, and I'll be good. I have a very barrel chest, and I have a good arch, so I don't have a lot of range of motion, so it's not really, I don't really need to do anything like that. When I used to bench with the closer grip, I did have to warm up my shoulders a bit more because you're bringing that bar down lower, and that's going to stress your bicep tendon, which is actually up in your shoulder. And then for the deadlift, when I used to pull sumo, I would work on my hips, practice getting my knees out, stuff like that. But I pull conventional now, And I found that with the conventional deadlift, it's just more so making sure that I'm nice and warm, and that I've raised my body temperature enough to be nice and ready to hit those heavy pulls. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's my take on mobility. I hope that's helped some of you, and appreciate your time. Like the video if you like the video, and I will talk to you in the next one.